All right, now we'll add a web page to our site and then an Excel web part and show you how to configure it. So back over into the remote box. And Mathino Group BI site is up, and we're going to go Site Actions. And what I'm going to do, I don't want to create new page because that will not give me the page that I want. So I'm going to say More Options, filter by page, and the page that I actually want is this web part page over in here. So we'll call Create. And now I can come through and I can choose my layout. The layout is not really that big of a deal because it's pretty easy to go in and delete out these columns and headers, etc., and split them. So we'll just stick with the header, the footer, and the 3 column. And we're going to give it a name, and I'm going to call this Demo, Demo Add Web, how about Add EWA? EWA part. Now you notice down here in my form here, it's asking me for what document library to store this web page in. And normally you want to come through and create another document library and create that document library and store, say I'm doing R&D down in here, and I'm going to create the web pages that have multiple instances of web parts so that the users can come in and see multiple spreadsheets on one web page. But we'll go ahead and use customized reports, the canned document library. And I'll say Create, and now here we are. And you notice these web parts that we have. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take the middle column and click Web Part. And now the type of web part that I want is in business data, because you see it's this Excel Web Access web part, and we'll call it Add. And now my web part has been added. So now to configure it, to tie that into where the report actually is, I'm going to use the tool pane in the web part. And now under Workbook, I'm going to click the ellipses, ... and that fires on up. And we created the R&D Excel reports, very handy. And now I can go in and we'll take R&D1, that remember we had 2 instances of the spreadsheets that we uploaded, R&D and then 1 for parameter. And here we'll take R&D and we'll say OK. And if we had a named item, we could bring that in, and all this other stuff is configurable. And I'll say Apply. Let's see what we got. And now I'll say OK. Just to close the tool pane. There we are. Here's our R&D prices. Now let's go over here and add another one. We're going to go Add Web Part. And again, we're going to use Add Excel Web Access. And we're going to add that. And again, we'll come through there and we'll open the tool pane. But this time, we're going to select the other instance, again, our Excel reports, the other instance of the workbook that we uploaded. I'm just double clicking in here, and she's up. And again, I'll say Apply, and I'll say OK, just to close this. And now if I pull one up, so here's the instance of the report where we had the parameter. So now I'm going to take the parameter and I'll enter some value. 3% was what was up there, so let's give them 0.07. And there will be an Apply button. And we've got that. And now I'm going to hit the right arrow so I can close that on out. And you see the new discount down. It's now in there at 60, at 7%, etc. So now I have 2 workbooks opened in the same web page. And I'll go down here and I'll tell it to stop editing. And now I've got my workbooks up and running. Really nothing very difficult there at all.